What's up, people? What's up? I.O.B.A. I'm TC. Okay, so apparently a couple of weeks ago now, because today is the 15th, this shit must have happened on, according to what I got here, somewhere around the first week of April. They had this conference called the National Emergency Conference on Gentrification. I think that's where this shit happened, right? And they had old Mark Thompson up there, the dude with the yellow dashiki. I didn't know the brother name until, a couple of weeks, about a week ago, when when Professor Black Truth talked about him. But anyway, he was at this conference, right? And this dude got up in his face and started asking him some tough questions, right? And he asked old Mark Thompson about his interviews that he does on MSNBC, and how he is so against the ADOS movement, and how he wants to divert the conversation and change the narrative, and say that he's one of these motherfuckers who think that the ADOS movement is started and controlled by Russians and shit like that. He's one of these motherfuckers. And that the only real, and he thinks, Mark Thompson seems to think, or is pushing the narrative that the only real reparations movement is the one that he and his organization have been pushing and forwarding in Cobra and this other organization he mentioned. Anyway, this brother got in his face and started asking him some tough questions, and old Mark Thompson couldn't handle it. And the brother kept pushing, and he wound up calling Mark Thompson basically what he is, a coon and a sellout, right? And old Mark Thompson, I don't know, he got all in his feelings and everything. And he put his hands all in the brother's face, and looked like he took a swing at him, according to the video. I'm going to put the video up, but, the video easy enough to find because it's all over the place now. And then I went and I checked the Mark Thompson's Twitter account, and apparently he tweeted that he was assaulted by somebody spewing ADOS rhetoric. Well, I saw the video. The brother wasn't spewing any rhetoric. And to me, there ain't no such thing as ADOS rhetoric. I mean, what the fuck does that even mean? But anyway, that was a blatant lie. The dude asked him some tough questions. Mark Thompson tried to get away because that's what these fake motherfuckers do when you start asking them tough questions. They take a page out of Al Sharpton's book. They try to bounce. And then they start talking about all the work they did and this and that. Look, according to Dr. Claude Anderson, we're in the same position economically as we were at the end of slavery. So all of this work they did, it ain't did nothing but kept us, stagnant, right? And the people who really want to do work, the people who really want to progress and move us forward, they're always suppressed. People like Malcolm X, people like Marcus Garvey, we always and others always get suppressed by these assimilationist motherfuckers, right? And so in 2019, we got guys like this Mark Thompson guy. We got Joy Reid. We got Cory Booker. We got Kamala Harris. We got all of these motherfuckers who want to maintain the status quo. So they suppress any real movement like the ADOS movement. And they try to say, that we are Russian bots and we are radical and we this and we that. Look, as far as I'm concerned, Mark Thompson is supposed to be a minister, by the way. As far as I'm concerned, this Mark Thompson brother, is just another in a long list of those sellouts. He's a long list of those coons and gatekeepers who try to just feather their own nest and maintain the status quo. He's been propped up as a spokesman for black people. Who the fuck decided he was a spokesman for black people? You know what I mean? Who the fuck decided that? Who made that call? He ain't no spokesman for me. You know? And here's the thing. The ADOS movement, if you will, ADOS is a demographic. It's you see, for the people at the slow end of the bus, some of these immigrants who still don't understand or still think that they so smart that, they can't stand themselves. We had slavery in this country. Those slaves made babies. Those babies made more babies. And it kept going on like that until you get to us. Right? We are the descendants of those slaves. We are not a hate group. We are not Russian bots. We are not black identity extremists. We are non-immigrants brought to this country against our will as a labor force. Right? That's why we was brought here. Well, here we are. And now justice has to be served for one of America's biggest fucking crimes. The original fucking sin. Right up there with the genocide of the indigenous people of this country. Right? And the indigenous people have largely been paid reparations. But now it's our turn. It doesn't have anything to do with Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is a whole separate issue. A whole separate fucking issue. You can be a Pan-Africanist, right, and still be ADOS. You can be gay and still be ADOS. You can be Republican and you can be Democrat and be ADOS. You really can. All you gotta do is take a look around the motherfucking room. That's all you gotta do. Take a look around the room. You could be all of these things and still be an American descendant of slaves. And if you should happen to fall into that category, right, into that demographic, then you are entitled to reparations for the labor and the intellectual property and the physical abuse that was heaped on your ancestors. It's just that motherfucking simple. Right? They trying to make something else out of it because they don't want to pay us what they owe us. But I just don't see no way of getting around. HR 40, that bill that that Congresswoman has, that's bullshit. Just like I explained in my last video, and just like the Black Authority broke down so eloquently a couple of weeks ago. The bill is just, it's going to go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Especially not when Donald Trump is in the fucking White House. But I think the time for studying is long past. Long past. Quiet as kept. I bet you they already got a committee working on it. They probably already got a committee working on it. They can't tell nobody, but they probably already got a committee working on it. Like a bunch of motherfuckers there. What if we can't get around this and we absolutely have to pay these niggas? How we gonna do it? They got that committee and then they got another committee saying we ain't paying them shit. But I digress. But to me, it's just that goddamn simple. So the argument about Pan-Africanism versus ADOS, that's a false argument. That's a distraction. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in it. You can be a Pan-Africanist and you can be ADOS. Right? One of them is what is a belief system and one of them is who you physically fucking are. Right? One of them is a philosophy or an ideology, and one of them is basically who and what you are, right? And when people say that, you dividing and all of this, to me, that's nonsense. That's nonsense because, again, two separate issues. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. Mm-mm. Don't fall for that. And as far as people like Mark Thompson, Joy Reid, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, as far as these people go, they just gatekeepers, man. They just gatekeepers. They just to maintain the status quo and to keep us at the bottom of the totem pole. Again, they've been these assimilationists been in charge for or been quote unquote fighting this fight for decades, and and the needle hasn't moved an inch. I mean, we right at the end of slavery, we owned what 0.5% of all the wealth in this country. And right now, we, ADOS, own about 0.5% of all the wealth in this country. We right where we were then. And if they were to have to give us reparations the way that, they really supposed to, well, that would move us out from under that underclass. That would put Hispanics back down as a permanent underclass or as the underclass.
Kind of like this stuff.
Right? It would. Because we talking trillions of dollars,
No one knows tax reform better than Block.
We talking trillions of dollars.
Block has your back.
They know it, and we know it. And that's why they fighting so hard and trotting out all of these well-paid Negroes to try to thwart this effort. And I don't see the shit happening, and that's another thing. It ain't gonna happen in 2020. Ain't nothing gonna happen in 2020. We gotta keep beating this drum for a long time. I don't see it happening for another 25 years. I may not see it happen. I may not see reparations come to fruition, But I do have children and I do have grandchildren, and they may see it. That's how important it is. That's how long it's going to take. You got to be in it for the long haul. Nobody in their right mind expects this to happen and expects reparations to come from any of these lame-ass 2020 candidates. Nobody expects anything to happen from any of these lame-ass. They want to study some more. I told you the time for study is over. Been over. They know it's over. But we keep sticking it in their face, and we keep telling them we're not voting for you unless you make this an issue. Unless you, or at least get this issue out there talked about. You got that Marianne Williamson woman, $100 billion. That don't even get started, honey. That ain't even enough for the down payment. No. But anyway, Mark Thompson, back to him before I close out. Mark Thompson is a thin-skinned, right? Excuse me here. Thin-skinned, sellout coon. And the worst thing you can do to a thin-skinned, sellout coon is to call him that to his face. They get mad in the motherfucker. They want to fight. As you can see on the video. They want to fight. That destroyed, to me, all his credibility right there. He's going to have to get on TV and apologize or something. He's going to have to get on and talk about how sorry he is. He'll probably do it on Twitter or something like that. Or not. I don't know. But to me, he lost all his fucking credibility. I bet you won't see him. I bet you if he wouldn't do Tucker Carlson or somebody like that was up in his face. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't put his hand all in the man's face and take a swing at him. No. Anyway, that's it for now, y'all. Y'all keep your head up. This fight gonna go on for a long time, though. And as long as I can, I'm gonna be in it. TC, and I'm out.